Hello, I want to give you more practice on calculating volume. On your handout, you'll see you have a calculation we did last time I saw you, beginning of October, for the amount of concrete needed for the project you're working in Mariah. So you have the steps, starting with the dimension of the slab. Number 2, you convert the inches to feet. So we take the 5.5 divided by 12. Then we can calculate volume with length times width times height. And we have to convert the cubic feet to cubic yards. Add some extra for waste if the excavation's a little too deep in spots. And then rounding that off, how much concrete are you going to order. Alright, if you have the Construction Master Pro, it's a little easier to do that because you can input the inches and feet and get cubic yards right out. So you skip a couple steps. I'm going to show you with a regular calculator, which you should have at all times. Alright. So first thing, reminding you how many cubic feet are in a cubic yard. You might remember that there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So if I cube that, I raise it to the 3rd power, cubing. 3 feet cubed is 3 feet times 3 feet times 3 feet. And 1 yard cubed is 1 yard times 1 yard times 1 yard. 3 times 3 times 3 gets us to 27 cubic feet. Feet times feet times feet is cubic feet. And then 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Yards times yards times yards is cubic yards. So 27 cubic feet and 1 cubic yard. For the visual among you, if you think of a cube, 1 yard by 1 yard by 1 yard. And you think of breaking that cube up into 3 feet for each yard. You get kind of a Rubik's Cube looking thing, or 27 cubic feet. Alright. Number 2, calculate the volume of a rectangular concrete slab, 16 feet long by 10 feet wide by 8 inches thick, and an extra 10%. So we're going to start with, first step, converting inches to feet. So we do 8 divided by 12. And I'm just going to leave that as 8 divided by 12. And multiply by 16 and 10. So length times width times height. Let's just calculate the volume. Just a calculator, type it in like you see it. You should get 106. 106.6 repeating. And that's cubic feet. And then we want to make the jump to cubic yards. We're going to figure. So we'll do 106.6 repeating. Just leave it in your calculator and divide by 27. This will convert cubic feet to cubic yards. Calculator should get 3.950617284 cubic yards. And then we want to do extra, 10% extra, so 10% as a decimal is 0.10. So I'll multiply by 1.10, so I get the full amount plus an extra 10%. gets me to 4.34567 cubic yards. And then concrete, you're going to order, depending on the supplier, to the nearest quarter or half. Okay, so a quarter would be 25, so we're above the quarter, so we want to go up to the next quarter, or 50, so 4.5 or 4.5 cubic yards. So last step round. All right. Number 3. Calculate the volume of the rectangular concrete slab given the diagram below. Add an extra 15% this time. So same steps. We want to convert the inches. So we'll do our 8 inches divided by 12. We'll kind of leave that and then go right into calculating the volume. 8 divided by 12, multiply by length and width. Oops. It's not 8-inch slab, it's a 4-inch slab. So 4 divided by 12. So 4 divided by 12, and then times length times width. All right. So calculating the volume with your calculator, you should get 53.3 repeating cubic feet. We want to convert cubic feet to cubic yards. So we'll do 53.3 repeating divided by 27. You should get 1.975308.642 cubic yards. We want extra, we want 15% extra, so 0.15. So we'll multiply by 1.15 to get extra, which gets me to 2.2716 cubic yards. All right, and again, we're past the quarter, so probably go with 2.5 cubic yards. And if you were really sure you only needed 13% extra, you might go with 2.25, but quarter yard of concrete, not terribly expensive for the trouble of not having enough concrete. So 2.5 cubic yards. The last one, calculate the amount of concrete needed for 8 piers. Each pier is 24 inches wide by 24 inches long and 4 feet deep. Add an extra 5% this time. So we got inches to feet. So 24 divided by 12 happens to be 2 feet. You might recognize, so that's a nice number. No decimals, we might just use that. So then multiplying length times width times height. Feet times feet times feet. 2 times 2 times 4. Might not even need a calculator. 16 cubic feet. And here we've got an extra step because we don't have just one of these, we have 8 of them. So we'll multiply by 8 piers. And 8 times 16. So 8 times 16 gets us 128 cubic feet. And I want to convert to cubic yards, so we'll do 128 divided by 27. Gets to 4.740 repeating. That's cubic yards. We want extra, we want 5% extra, so 5% is 0.05. Remember, not 0.5. So we'll do 1.05 for extra. So multiplying 4.740 repeating and 1.05 gets you to 4.97 repeating. And mess up rounding. Just go up to 5 cubic yards. All right, so that's some practice with starting with dimensions and calculating how many cubic yards of concrete you need, and a little extra added in.